Another thing that you're going to learn is something called the t-test. The t-test is used to do a statistical test to see if there is a statistical difference between the exports and the imports, for example. So I want to make a comparison. So to do that, we need to write out what is called the null hypothesis, really the neutral hypothesis. So we'll type in, again, this is hard with 6 legs, null, you humans are so lucky. But I just pressed something, my stupid leg. Okay, null hypothesis. And then I could never be a secretary. Okay, null hypothesis would be there is no difference between the means of exporting, let's say the export and import. And then we have the alternative hypothesis, which we usually like you to type out. And of course, this would go in your lab report. And the alternative hypothesis would be the opposite. There is a difference in the mean of the exports and imports. Beautiful. So now we're all set to do this. Your teacher will explain this in more detail. I'm just showing you the technical parts of it. So what you want to do is you go to our old friend fx. We love fx. Hi fx. But anyways, you go there, you scroll down, it's a statistical test, so it's under statistical, and you go to the t-test. And the t-test is right there, and we go OK. The array is the column, so we're going to compare the exports, that's one array, to the imports. That's again what we're trying to do, is see if there's a statistical difference. In almost all cases, we're going to use a two-tailed test. And then we're going to do a test, so we're going to say, okay, you have to choose a type. A paired t-test, again, you'll learn that in class, but there could be a 2-sample equal variance or a 2-sample unequal variance. Just by looking at the variances, this one's 872, this is 298, this isn't the variance, but it's telling us that it's very, there's a lot of difference here. So I'm going to choose 3. You may have to ask your teacher about that, or if you have a question. So we're going to look at the variance 3. So if you look at the data, press OK, and you get a difference of 0.08. You see a probability of 0.08. I want to check that again because I'm not sure if that's right. Let me just double check. I always want to make sure. You should always check your work just to make sure. So let's go down and check it because it just doesn't seem right to me. I do not believe it. Okay, so t-test, array 1, array 2, comparison, two-tailed test, and a type 3, and yes, I thought that was the case. Okay, so the number that we get is 0.04. So listen carefully. I want everyone to listen very carefully. If the number that you get, that probability is less than 0.05, that means that statistically, if it's less than 0.05, that statistically the null hypothesis is correct. If, let's say, that number came out to be 0.07 or 0.1, we would accept the null hypothesis and say that there is no difference. So the cutoff really is 0.05. So the conclusion would be that there is a statistical difference between exports and imports. Ah, beautiful. So there you go.